the work that they were doing came to an end. So um, they had to leave and go to Oahu and find work there. Um, but uh, Tula Enos and his family left here. Uncle Edmund stayed here for a while, and his children graduated, grew up and graduated from Bowen. After that, then that's when they and of course Uncle Edmund tragically had passed away, and then all the children were gone. Even up on the hill here was Arthur Enos, and his wife was a member related to the descendant of the Baileys, and his children stayed here. Two of his girls became school teachers. His eldest son, Keawe, moved to the Big Island. Moved to Oahu and became a Mormon elder out there on the windward side. So that was the end of the Anis and the Enoses right there. So, except for us.
That's right. Your family's too.
Except for my mother's side is Ani, was born in Waikapū here, but we married the Garcia side. So.
And my family's connection is because of his family's connection. And so I'm just a few years younger than Cousin William. And it was wonderful, to be able to come out here to Waikapū to visit the families, the Anis, the Enuses, and see the taro patches. So I think both of us have very strong memories of what we used to see here on this land. The terraces, right? You remember seeing that?
Yeah, this whole area was nothing but taro patches. My grandfather took care of all these taro patches. There are about 10, but these were the biggest ones right here in this area. Around the house in the back were smaller patches. And the area we're in now is the pig pen. We had about 6 or 8 pigs at that time, and the imu was on that side, and the cooking barrels were in the back here. We cooked the slop, and then we mixed the poi with that ulu tree. That ulu tree, there used to be 2 big mango trees here. One of them was by where the ulu tree is at, but that's where my grandfather used to sit and grind taro to make poi. So, and we used to take. We didn't have any running water, so to speak, and we had running water in the house, and we had hot water in the house, but that was only for cooking and for the women to bathe in. All the men bathed in the river. We took a bath in there. So that was an everyday thing.
Give me 1 second, I gotta grab one food.
Anyway, I saw Margaret chewing on a bicycle ride all over the
Oh yeah, they're going all over New York
Kakoloa.
State. Yeah, they're going to New York State.
I don't know, she's into so many things, yeah. Well, at least she's keeping occupied and not gaining
I
weight.
hope she's doing okay. Oh no,
Yeah.
she's not gaining weight. She's
That's for sure.
skinny as a rail.
Punoai left, he's leaving. He left this week. He's leaving for Boston.
Oh, take Kamariva.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was going to Brown.
No, he's going to Boston University.
Oh, Boston, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Danny's youngest one went to
Yeah,
Brown.
the other one is over there. He's home this summer, though.
Huh?
He's home this summer, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him either.
No, nobody sees him. They only stay home.
Oh, he's old. His eldest is here too, right? Danny's
No,
oldest
I
boy?
think he works in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know. Somebody said he was.
Or maybe he came home for a
He
little
came
visit.
back. Oh, come on. Kupuna Ai's oldest came back.
Yes, yes.
And he said, he was telling us,
Yeah.
we hardly see him. We don't see him.
He's surfing every day.
Yeah.
All right, sorry for that.
No, that's okay.
Can I get your earliest memory of
Sure. Yeah.
Nohoʻana Farm?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I used to come out here to Waikapū primarily because my cousin William's mother was of this area, right? The Ani family. And so I was blessed to get to know the Enos family well. Uncle Tula, Auntie Helen, their son, Brother Enos, and Ku'ule and all of them, right? They
Yeah.
were all
Yeah.
out in this area. And then, as he mentioned, um, Auntie Emily Enos, who is a direct relative of ours through the Bailey family. Uh, she and her husband Arthur and their family lived up here, upstream, and so we used to spend a lot of time. So yeah, you could almost visualize what this place looked like. And then after they left, it the land went fallow, and there was no more kalo grown. But part of the challenge was the lack of water, because the water was being diverted to take care of the sugar plantations. And so as a result, that may have been part of the reason why the families left too, because they couldn't farm anymore. And so when I came back to Maui after graduating from high school, finishing college and everything, and got married, my husband and I were very happy to be able to come home. And we were once again blessed with the opportunity to live here in Waikapū. So it was like coming home, except that for us, and I don't know, William, maybe that was true for you, we couldn't figure out where the taro patches went. They were totally overgrown because
Yeah.
nobody had farmed, for a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
After my grandfather passed away, he died of a heart attack in 1952 or 53. Um, they could, they didn't farm the land after that. He's the only one that took care of these patches, and he did it on his days off because he had another job. He worked as a guard at the county jail. So when he got off work, and he'd come here and work the taro patch, and sometimes his son-in-laws would help him, but mainly his two older grandchildren uh, would give him a hand in the taro patch here. And once in a while, all the kids, all his grandchildren would get in there, and instead of working, they'd be playing, but he called it work at the time.
It's okay. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, playing football. But anyway, after he passed, nobody took care of the taro patches, and it just became overgrown. And then one year I came back, I was on leave, and I just drove up here to check out the land because I heard they were growing pot in here. Somebody was growing pot. So I came in and just kind of went through all the brush to take a look at the area, but it just overgrown with probably chest high grass.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we started to
Yeah, it
clear
was really
and
overgrown.
everything.
There was that the how forest wasn't there. And of course, you know, the how is a resource that shouldn't be destroyed at all because it's a source of making uh, kaula. The Hawaiians use that to the strips to make their lashings for the canoes and whatever else they needed. And of course, some of it used for medicinal purposes. So, but mainly, yeah, that big area over there was a really nice looking patch. So,
So eventually, our family was fortunate to be able to
Bye.
use the land, purchase the land, with the dream, the hope of restoring the loʻi Kalo. And it was hard work. And I know that my cousin William was here the first day when over 100 people joined the families and said, we're going to work together and find out where the source of the water was from the ʻauwai down back to the
Yeah, it always
stream.
came from up there.
Yeah, came from up there. And then we were going to all work together to find out the lay of the land and where the taro patches were actually before. And so we had Brother Enos came. He
Yeah,
came from
well,
Honolulu.
some of the descendants,
I think
some of
Wallette
the
came
children that were
too.
born on this land
Yeah,
came
they
back.
came.
My cousin Wilford
Yeah,
and
he came.
our cousin Antoinette.
Oh yes, yeah. Lots of the family, all the
Yeah.
cousins came.
And then some one or two others came from Oahu
Yeah.
to help. We worked this one area right here to replant this one area with Kalo.
Right, yeah. So this one right here, this lo'i was the first one that we opened, and we were able to actually find the path of the ʻauwai, or I should say the ditch that took the water from the ʻauwai and came down
Yeah.
to flow into the lo'i Kalo. And it was a wonderful feeling to be able to see that. And then we started over the years with, again, Uncle William's help and the help of so many family and friends to find the outline of where the other lo'i were located. And little by little, rock by rock, if you want to call it that, we were able to outline them again. So, Uncle William, you want to talk about the kipapa style walls, no cement or anything like that? You want to?
No, there were no cements on these walls here. They're just the way you see it right now, except for that area up around on the hill there. There was taro patches. There were patches up there, around the house, and there was a trail that ran up by the ulu tree that ran up to the hill and around up into the big house up there. This land, when the Enuses were on it, this land supported them and what they got from the Kalo, of course. And you had all about these 3 big patches, and you had several other small patches, so it was quite extensive. They raised their own pigs. They had their own chickens. In the front of the yard, they had 2 big coconut trees, and they had a mountain apple tree also next to the house. So, but anytime they had a party or a luau, everything that came into that luau came off of this land there. And Ata Enos owned a house in Ma'alaya. That land where that house sat is still there. It's across from the Coast Guard station. And he had a big house there. He had running water, but no flushing toilet, so he had an outhouse. But he had a big boat, a big flat-bottom skiff. So when they're getting ready for parties, all the men would go on a Saturday, and they spend Friday night, they would gather at the house, and they get all the fishing gear ready, and next morning they're gone. And they go all around the Pali, the lighthouse area, and fish that whole area, and then they come back with all kind of fish, and that's what they use for the luau. And the boys would climb the coconut tree and get the coconuts for the ladies to make the coconut cake and coconut milk and whatever. You had to grate it in those days. You see the old steel homemade graters. They sitting there and grating the coconut. So, and then of course all the men would kill the pigs too. And in those days you had pigs. You didn't have this kind of genetically modified animals. Nowadays a pig has no hair. In those days, They had bristles, and so they had to burn it off before they put it in the imu. And that was done all right here.
Yeah. So I think
The
it
whole
sounds
thing.
like, yeah, it was, everybody was, families were pretty self-sufficient,
Yeah.
and they shared with their neighbors. And another reason why I know I used to come up here to Waikapū besides visiting a Hawaiian family was the old Protestant church, which is located right outside the gate over here, the old Hawaiian church.
Oh yeah, the old
right?
congregational
The
church. Yeah.
Congregational church, and it was a place that served, religious purposes, but also during World War II, right? It became a hospital, and so it was used for surgery, for taking care of the military people who were injured in some way. And there were Quonset huts up here as well. Remember the Quonset huts?
There were Quonset huts, yeah.
Right over here.
They were used as offices. The Quonset huts were on this side, the Mauka side of that triangle.
Right.
You can still see the foundations where they were.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's still little landmarks, if you want to call them that. Like there's a triangle that's kind of right in the middle of the road and divides up West Waikato Road and Old Government Road. And that was part of this complex that was used for R&R for the military as well. And the church had its own graveyard, its own cemetery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if any of your relatives were buried up there?
Yeah, yeah. The Enuses, the Adams, and some other old Hawaiian families were buried out there, and they're now resting in Maui Memorial. The graves were all dug up and moved out to Maui Memorial. But I remember we had to go in the back there and take care of the burials. That was after the war. During the war, you forget about they wouldn't let you in that area,
Right. Yeah.
and you could. The main gate was right over here around the curve. That's where you had the guardhouse right there. So.
Yeah. And they even used to have different kinds of events, because I could remember coming to luau up in the church after the war. Though this is after the war, when the church was not used for hospital or anything like that. There used to be parties up there, and so this is kind of a close to Wailuku, where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
But we spent a lot of time up here in Waikapū.
People, those days, people on this road, they pretty well knew each other.
Yeah.
So
Probably
we had the Vitas down there.
the
They were old.
Rogers, Eddie Rogers.
Eddie
and his
Rogers was
family.
there.
Yeah, all kinds. Yeah, we knew all those families. Took care of help each other out.
Pretty self-sustaining during the war, because you couldn't get anything, So you had to take care of, do yourself.
Why is that? What do you mean you couldn't get anything?
The shipping was restricted, Military had top priority. So in those days, you had a ration card too. Yeah, gas was ration. You couldn't. And
Everyday citizens had a ration?
no, until I think about 1944 they relaxed it. We still had blackouts up until 1944. They had, each street had a air raid warden, and his job was to walk around at night and make sure everybody was blacked out.
Yeah. So you couldn't see the light in the house.
Everybody was blacked out, and you had to have these barrels of water around your house. You open up the barrel and nothing but mosquitoes in there. It's just a big old breeding ground for mosquitoes. And but during the war, they're pretty strict. You had restrictions, like I know at the beginning of the war they had curfews, But the people in the country, they, like out here, once you pass Wailuku, once you pass Wailuku Elementary School, you are in the
In
country.
the country, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right,
you
yeah.
are in the country because
Yeah,
there's nothing but cane fields and no, you
yeah.
don't see
And all the
anybody
monkey,
on the
yeah,
road. There's
yeah.
no cars
Dark, no
going
lights.
by.
Yeah, never have street lights. All the monkey pod
Yeah,
trees that would cover
yeah.
what is now
In
Hunuaku
those
Landing
days, that
Highway.
not too many people had
No,
automobiles.
no, yeah,
So people living out here, they were a lot of them were self-sustaining, and then if you know, it's one kind of if you didn't have something, you go down the street, ask this guy. Now down here was plantation camp.
hmm
It's all plantation workers, and they took care of themselves, or Wailuku Sugar took care of them.
yeah. And you know,
And
it's really interesting too because Waikapu's history includes having its own school.
yeah,
So right around when you cross the
in
bridge
the
to
back,
go out, in someone's house there was it was a little schoolhouse, a little red schoolhouse if you can imagine.
yeah,
And children went there to school, eventually ending up going to Wailuka Elementary. And there were so many churches in this vicinity. Right above by the ʻauwai, and you remember, there was a Mormon church, and
oh, they had a
a
Mormon
lot of
church
the
right there.
relatives
Yeah,
went to the Mormon church. No more, it's
my
foul
uncle.
already, all knocked down. And then of course you had the Hawaiian Protestant church, and then down the road you had the Catholic church, and there was Japanese churches. I mean, every community, you know, Waikapu was almost a self-contained community.
Yeah,
It had
yeah.
its own businesses. It had a theater. Remember the open air theater.
Waikapu had an open, where the store, Waikapu, the so-called Waikapu store down there on the
Yeah.
bottom. Well, that was a theater, a,
Mhm.
a open air theater, and you
Almost,
had boulders, you had
yes,
bleachers
there
for
in the
sitting
boulders.
with the kids. And he
Mosquitoes,
had
folks,
boulders in front
flying
of you with all the
mosquitoes.
kids sitting on top of them.
Yeah,
Each plantation camp had their own movie
yeah,
theater.
yeah,
ʻOlowalo was the same thing too.
yeah. They had their
They
own.
had their own movie theater out in the sticks or whatever.
hmm Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I think most people are totally unaware. You know, we think Waikapu is all these brand new houses
And then,
now, but there are lots of homes, even on West Waiko Road, that were here way back during wartime and are still
yeah, that one's right here,
here. The Eddie Rogers
at
home,
Rogers Place.
Mr. Johnny Gomes, his house down a
Yeah.
little bit lower. You know, they were built to last, right, and
Yeah.
carry the history with them. So we're happy here at Nohoʻana to have the privilege of restoring, bringing back to life what used to be, and that is the mission of, you know, our family. And we're
Yeah.
glad we still have Uncle William. He comes out here and goes to work too, right?
Now I just come out here, gather some stuff.
You gather things, yes, yeah.
So the next question here is: do you think that the aina here is being utilized as your ancestors had intended?
hmm
As much as possible.
Yeah, as much as can.
In those days, you could get away with a lot of things. Uh, like, you know, they didn't have rules. A good one is trash burning. Every Saturday would just, you smell nothing but
Everybody,
leaves, burning
everybody in the
leaves.
neighborhood.
You walk around and you see these smoke rising from almost every
Yeah.
yard. People just on a Saturday they would clean their yards, and they, instead of taking the trash to the trash dump, no, you burn the trash right there. Even in Wailuku, right in the middle of
Yes.
Wailuku, grandfather's place, we burned the
Yeah.
trash right there. So everybody did it. So they had no rules. Again, today, they call the fire department on you. They see smoke coming out. So,
I think we're making a positive and a sincere effort to bring back what used to be and could be for the future, because so many young people now come and visit, right? By themselves with school groups, or they come with their parents and their families, and they are amazed at what they find here, and they're so happy to be part of it. You know, And it's really interesting because a number of times we have run into people who came up here as children and now are adults, and they're bringing back their children because we've been around. What we've been doing this for about 20 years already, Uncle William.
Yeah, you
You
guys
know,
have not.
well, you too. You've been involved in it, and so we believe that there is definitely a place for this kind of thing. Otherwise, young people don't have a chance to work on the aina. You know, it's really important.
Yeah, definitely. Touching on that, because being a makiai is so rare these
Mm-hmm.
days, and like access to farmland is even rarer,
Right.
do you feel like your kupuna are happy
Oh
with
yes.
the way this aina is being utilized?
I hope. I sure hope they are. I hope they're smiling down at us. Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're happy to share. You know uh, what we do and what we have learned over the years as well. Um, and we hope more young people will, consider looking at you know, getting their hands in the soil because we need that. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be unsustainable and have to depend on the ships that come in or the planes that fly our food in. It doesn't have to be like that, you know.
Well, they're doing it now, but during the war, uh, we didn't have any fresh. They didn't import any like beef products and chicken products. Everything. If you went to a market in Wailuku, that chicken that you bought was killed sometimes that morning.
Yes.
And the old Portuguese, all the Portuguese cattlemen up country, they would slaughter their animals up there. There was no USDA inspector up there checking on them what they're doing. They slaughter it and they bring it down, and it came down to the markets as beef. But beef was hard to come by during the war years. Mainly it was chicken and pork. Yeah, so you had a lot of people raising pigs. And even in Wailuku town, right in the middle of town, you got people raising chickens and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know my grandmother had a whole bunch of chickens. They were gathering eggs and whatnot.
Nana.
All right, 1 second. I gotta swap cards real quick. This
Oh.
card is full. So we'll take a 1 minute break. That's so interesting. I wish it were still like that, where all of our meat and produce were sourced
Mm-hmm.
here on island
Yeah.
rather than shipped in.
And it's really kind of amazing what you can do with kalo. I mean, it serves. Everybody thinks, okay, you're raising kalo because you're going to make poi, but kalo can be used in so many different ways. Um, okay.
I know Yvonne used to like it with butter and sugar.
Yes.
Could you repeat that for me?
What's that?
I forgot what I said. Well, I think the idea I was trying to say was that um, sometimes we depend so much on what we can get in the supermarket, but actually, when you grow your own kalo, you grow your own breadfruit, and I mean, so many coconut and meal and stuff like that. So many different things can be used to make so many different products. And I think most of us think that the only use for kalo is poi, but that's not necessarily true We here in our family, we use it as a kind of a substitute for potatoes. So you can put. Nana used to put it in stew. I remember her beef
Yeah,
stew.
you'd
She
have
would
the
she would
what they
cut
call
up.
poi stew.
Yeah, and it's really ono that way. It grabs the flavor of whatever meat you might be using or what have you. It's used. You can make kalo salad with the ulu. You can make ulu salad, which is really ono. My husband had a really good recipe for Italian style ulu salad, and everybody raved about it. They went, "Oh,
Yeah,
this is so good!" So you don't only have to bake it and throw butter and stuff in it
yeah,
and
you
eat
get
it like that. You can use it, in many different ways. So yeah, trying to get people to go beyond the typical use for it.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not a big ulu person, but I remember growing up eating ulu poi. My grandmother used to make it and then
Hmm. Hmm.
give it to me and have ulu poi along with
Hmm.
the poi from this land. But during the war and growing up on this land, we when it came time to have a luau, everything come off the land.
Hmm.
And I remember when the Enuses would do it, they roll out the holla mats, and you sat on the ground, and you were fed either out of a coconut cup or a plate made from coconut palm,
Coconut palm.
and you would have your regular kalua pig, you would have fresh opihi, and the streams used to have
Yes.
freshwater shrimp,
Shrimp. Right.
opai.
Hmm.
And you'd have opai, and you'd have roasted chicken, and you'd have all kind of fish. And of course, the pastries were Western. The cakes were all Western. My aunt was known for her apricot or peach pies, but that were all Western. And then you ate with your fingers,
Yeah.
no spoons, nothing. All with the fingers. And even sometimes you'd be at a dinner table with the fingers.
Boy,
Bad habit.
no, poi tastes good when tastes real ono when you eat with your
Yeah,
fingers.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Because I know one luau. The boys were supposed to get the chickens, and instead of killing our own chicken, we went down there and raided the plantation camp
oh,
and took their chicken. So,
yeah,
some of them might have been fighting chickens too. I don't know.
a little tough there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even now the streams are being restored, and before, yeah, you used to have opai and opu and all those different things,
Yeah. Everything.
and then it stopped because the stream light disappeared. But now it's being restored, and it's fun for the children when they go down to the stream to see the opai and everything, which they had never seen before. So yes, streams are coming alive too. So taro patches, the streams, all of the wonderful uh,
In
old vegetables.
Yeah, and when the Enuses when my grandfather was taking care of all of this, he put in frogs,
Frog
and we used to
legs.
come down here and gig frogs
Yeah.
and eat frog legs.
That's right. A
Get
lot of
some frog
garlic.
legs, and it served a purpose. It kept the mosquitoes down.
So, in your guys' perspective, growing up and seeing the stream change, why did all of the stream like disappear?
Well, because the streams are being diverted, so there is hardly any water in the streams, and they need that to be able to go upstream and everything. But now the stream, well, Waikapū stream now goes back to Kealia. It did not flow all the way to Kealia for decades, and now it does.
So, could you describe um, being able, like growing up and being able to play in the streams and eat ʻohana, to all of a sudden not having any water in the streams and all the tunas dying, and then the process of bringing it back, and like maybe
Yeah.
that brings a lot of hope to you.
Well, I didn't live up here. William was
We
up here a
always,
lot more than I was, so you would probably have a better
yeah, we
perspective on
always had
that.
water.
Yeah.
But at that time, I wasn't aware of whether the
Yeah.
water
I
was.
don't think people. Yeah. I
So
don't
I
think
wasn't
people
aware
were.
of water flow. But to me, the river was flowing. The river is flowing. But you're talking about going and swimming in the pools. We used to go up in the El Valley and swim up in there. But at that time, we didn't see anything.
No,
There was nothing
yeah,
up
no
in there.
stream life. Yeah, for a long, long time,
Yeah.
decades. Yeah.
Now Waihe stream had, in fact, there was a lot of opu up in the Waihehu, up in the upper reaches of Waihehu stream, and same with Waihe in those years. But I guess all that is gone too. But now they're making a comeback. I've seen life in there.
Yeah, yeah. There's people like Skippy Howe. He is a naturalist and a stream biologist, and he has made it his mission to restore as much as possible the stream life. And so there's times up here when, we don't realize it, but Uncle Skippy is here, and he's bringing up all the baby things down in the stream. It's so wonderful, that is for him the hope. Yeah.
And can you kind of describe the feeling of like going to the river and not seeing any stream life, when as opposed to
Going to, during the war, we would go up to Iao a lot. But at that time, there was no life in
Nothing to see.
nothing in the streams, and it's the same as it is today, with the exception
different
that
when you were a kid, yeah.
it's about 8, 9 years old. We used to go up there and camp at night and listen to all the sounds and get scared and
Tell ghost
all the
stories.
weird sounds coming out of the valley and whatnot.
Good fun.
But yeah, that was small kid time then. So, Kipaniwai was a Boy Scout camp then, and they had a swimming pool up there at that time. So, and then all the frogs got into it. After they closed the pool down, nobody took care of the place. It didn't belong to the county. It was just there, and then nobody took care of it. The pool drained it out, and the next thing you know, it became a dangerous spot because somebody could fall into it. Had nothing but old frogs in there and toads and whatnot in it.
So reflecting back on your childhood and over the years, what does this aina offer to new and future generations of Kanaka?
What does it offer? It offers a connection to the past. Okay? If we lose it, then you lose who you are. You lose your identity. As long as the land exists, then we know who we are, where we came from. So that's who it is. And again, in my case, I think of all my cousins and my grandfather and my uncles all walking this land here. So
you can see them. You still see them in your mind's eye. Yeah. To me, it offers hope that in the midst of so much development on the island, these little pockets of hope do exist, and so we have to be sure that we continue them, right? And it's sometimes not easy because it's hard work. It's really hard work to take care of
Yeah,
the
especially
loʻi.
if you're, you know,
Oh,
like if you're at a, like Hokuau, he's got his regular work that he has to do, and then he has to come back
I'm
here and then
home.
do this. And I bet sometimes I wonder how my grandfather took care of
Mhm,
all this stuff
mhm,
all by himself. And of course, when I was only about 6 at that time when he was doing all of this, of course he had some of my cousins to help him, but I don't know how much help they gave. But I know them guys. They were all rascals. So they, they care more about going down the street and getting into something else and getting wet and putting their feet in a taro patch. No, of course I didn't care. I thought it was fun too,
mhm.
just splashing around in the mud.
I think the other part is, when in continuing this, we know where our food is coming from. And we can't say that about a whole lot of commercial um, products that we buy, but you know what you're getting, and it tastes even better, right? Because you had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference to know that you're part of the whole process. So I hope we're able to continue. Uncle William and I, we're getting old.
Yeah.
We're in our 80s, so it's like, okay, we're getting tired, but it's worth it, right? Yeah, it's worth it. Mhm.
Right on, Mahalo. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to add? Anything
No, no, no.
special?
Not unless you got some other questions.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, actually, what would you say is your most special memory or connection being here on the land?
Here on this end,
Yeah,
well,
or even just Waikapu in general.
just being with my cousins who all, I think I'm the only one left. Only there's about 3 of us left, but all of them, we grew up here, and some of my other uncles they moved to my grandfather's children. They moved to Oahu prior to the war, so that side of the family didn't know anything, have no connection to this side here, but the Enuses, yeah. So and I kind of memories of growing up with them and times we used to jump in the old 1937 Chevrolet and flatbed, converted flatbed, and take off to Ma'alaya to spend the weekend there while everybody's fishing. Yeah, that's all comes back. And that harbor wasn't there, and they pull a fish, and you could stand in the water and look down and see them all swimming around. And you can't do that anymore. So. And they had a big pico rock down there too.
What was that?
They had a big pico rock where the pico and the eve were stuck in a hole.
Yeah.
It's in the back of that restaurant back there.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's still there or not.
I don't know. We'll have to go
But
take a
that's
look.
where all the Hawaiian families in that area. Ma'alai was a fishing village. You had a lot of Hawaiian fishermen. And, and when their children are born, they take the umbilical cord
Yeah.
and they had that pico rock, they call it. I stick it in there.
And it's behind that restaurant
Yeah, I don't know
across the door.
what was it, a chart house or that
It was a
Ma'alai?
chart house, yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, it was a chart house.
Yeah, I think there may have
The
been
building
others.
is still there today.
Yeah, it still stands there.
Yeah.
It's empty. It's been empty for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
you know, and then, if you really want to delve into something, the other one is Pu'uhele that used to be outside of Ma'alaya.
Mhm. Yeah.
That pu'u was
The
there at the
movie.
time when Kalani o Pu'u
Yeah.
invaded Maui.
Uh-huh.
And his scouts climbed up that hill to look towards Waikapū to see where Kahikili had his peoples. Now that poo is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was considered one of the old guardians of Ma'alaya. So that's the male. Pu'uhele was the male. His wife is, I forgot, is up in Kula. And they had a child, and she was also a mo'o. And the story goes that this child was after Lohi'au, and Pele found out about it. And she traveled from the Big Island to Maui and found this child or this girl basking in the sun and chopped off her head. The tail is pu'u'olai in Makena. The head is molokini. So that's the story of that pu'u. But being as we had no council that looked after historic places, somebody converted in. They started taking the gravel to make roads. Yeah. And then it ended up being a big trash pit in the ground.
Yeah, rubbish.
And it caught fire, and it, how long did the fire last in that place? I don't know.
Yeah.
And this was
but when you
like a heiau or a pool like a hill?
when you came into, and it was even there after the war, and in 1953, and I left this island.
Recently.
Yeah, I left the island in 53.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I came back in 83, and that pool was gone.
It kept moving. That's why pu'uhele.
No, pu'uhele, no.
Yeah, the bugger was.
But there was legends about. At that time, there was legends from Waikapū to Ma'alaya, was kind of a kapu place, because he said Pele used to walk up and down this area, out in that flat area out there. And there's stories that if you ever see an old lady, don't stop, you know. Will you ever see somebody asking you for a cigarette? Don't stop, just keep going.
Keep going.
So Pu'uhele, where was it exactly?
It's at the intersection of North Kihei Road.
When you turn to go Kihei or go straight to Lahaina or Ma'alaya, right over there was under.
The big hole in the ground.
Yeah, it was a big puka, and it would fill. And the story we heard was that that's why it's called Pu'uhele, that it moved.
It was Pu'uhele, it was perfect cinder cone.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they took it and took all the gravel from it.
Yeah.
Even the army didn't touch it.
It was a naturally occurring?
It was right. It was from an eruption. Yeah, a long time ago.
Lots of good stories
But even the army didn't touch it. They left it alone.
Well, they were wise.
During the war years. But some wise acre had to go scoop up all the cinders, and they leveled it, and the next thing you know, they were digging down into getting more cinders out of it, and it's a big trash dump now. You see it, you go by there.
Yeah, you can't miss it when you make that turn to go Kihei.
Yeah, it looks like it has a fence line around it to keep people from falling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go right after this. I'm going to
Tell all the secrets.
Remains of Pu'uhele.
Wow. Oh, thank you for that.
There's a chant. It was composed by John Lake. It's a kahea, it's a kahea to come. So the first part of the kahea deals with Lahaina, and the second part of the kahea deals with central Maui, and it goes. Ke awa nui ma'alaya ka naio ile de kamaka pu'uhele. You see pu'uhele. Well, you're not going to see it anymore.
Yeah, it changed shape.
Ke awa nui is as you're coming from Lahaina, Ke awa nui is on the left-hand side. It's the hill. It has petroglyphs up in that area. Ke awa iki is on the Big Island. It's a brown estate. There's a big freshwater spring surrounded with big coconut trees. And it has two houses, and I think there's an architect that lives, not an architect, but there's people living on there right now, but it's not permanently. They're there to take care of the area. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank
Okay.
you very much.
Sure.
That
Okay.
was a very good interview.
So here's
Alright,
another
cutting
old
here.
tree.
Yes, that was incredible. I'm definitely gonna go drive down there. and check it
Yeah.
out and
Oh
see what
yes,
it's
yes, I remember.
Yeah.
So
But I was mad when I saw that. I said, damn.
the kahea by John Lake, what is it called?
It's
It's a kahea.
it's just a kahea.
It's a call.
It's used by kupuna ice molis. That's his halau's kahea.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but it talks about when you come around the bend and you approach Keamanui and you're gonna see Ma'alaya. Kanaio is referencing. That's Kanaio is what's that? Kealia Pond
Kealia
area. Kanaio. And then you're gonna see Puhele, which is no more.
Oh. I think those microphones.
Yeah, I don't want to break anything.
No.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can just pull them off.
Yep.
Magnet.
I don't wanna lose a
I don't want
magnet.
to lose.
That
Yeah.
makes me mad that someone would just think they can just.
Yeah, they think they can get away with it, and then we at that time the county had no one in charge of cultural resources, and they
Sorry.
couldn't.
Nice.
Nobody protected it,
Fancy.
and now they lost the source. Of course, if you want to read the story about that, you go into the book Places Unknown by Elspeth. Elspeth. Yeah,
Elspeth?
Elspeth Sterling.
Okay, okay.
Places on Maui. Yeah, it's no longer in print, from what I understand. You can't even get it out of. Well, you can out of Amazon, but it's used. I think it's almost $200.
Ka'ahumanu, they have a good bookstore where they have a lot of those old.
What's that?
Yeah, Friends of the Library in Ka'ahumanu Mall.
Oh,
Yeah, they have plenty of those old out of print books.
I used to have some books with it.
Oh,
I had a whole bunch of.